Welcome to the Christian Nostalgia Podcast.
And this is our VBS Wrap Up Party.
A month-long celebration all about Vacation Bible School.
So without a moment to lose, this is Nora.
This is Lee.
Let's get this party started.
And welcome back to the fourth and final week of VBS our Wrap Up Party. I am joined always by my co-host.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, we're glad to have you back here with us today.
It's a pleasure as always.
Yep, and we are going over one of my favorite topics of a whole VBS kit, and that is games and also including science and any other activities.
Yeah, I couldn't put we went through a spell in my history where the science experiments weren't a thing.
Yeah.
It
was definitely later on in life for us.
They added that.
Yes.
For the kids that probably didn't enjoy crafts.
Yeah. It was still cool though. It was the start of, kids wanted to sit and watch people do things, and they didn't want to do a lot of sports.
They didn't want to do anything. Well, I think it also came from that, once again, the church adapted to try to make the lesson, penetrate the hearts, of the kids.
Yeah.
Physically, mentally, spiritually, and these sort of hands-on, lessons started becoming a thing.
Yeah.
All right, let's watch a rubber ball bounce. And then we talk about, after seeing it bounce, let's talk about how God, continues in our lives, how the ball will stop bouncing and, silly stuff like that. I know, folks, that made kind of no sense, but it was kind of in that wheelhouse of doing something and then having a lesson explained with it.
And I always felt this was invented for the churches in big cities where you didn't have a plot of land, of grass to do sports in. So science was a good way if you didn't have sports.
Yeah.
It was a good way to do it inside.
Yeah.
And still bring them involved in that.
And I think it also allowed for these programs and these VBS kits to stretch out the night a little more.
Yeah.
To add an extra station. Because if you think about it, it was just snacks, games, crafts, and if you cut music time out, see, that's what happened.
Yeah.
They cut music time. Music time used to be a designated location and place you went to learn song and hand motion. Well, once you took that away and added the praise and worship in the opener now, what happens to all those extra kids? You just cut out in a major station and location that you went to have some fun. So they replaced music station with science station.
And did you like that more?
I definitely was more hands-on kind of kid. I definitely learned more by I am a visual learner. So I didn't mind the science experiments.
Mm-hmm.
We did the Pirates Who Don't Do Anything VBS kit.
Yeah.
And that had the science station.
Yes.
And I was with the little guys. And so I was following around with the staff, and we went to the science station, and I got to watch it. No different than the kids going and seeing it, and it's okay.
Well,
it's okay. I wouldn't say yay, let's go to the science station. I definitely didn't get those vibes from the kids, and I didn't get that vibe when I arrived, and it wasn't. And I know some people say, oh, it's the teacher. No, that could be something pretty simple, that would intrigue me, like a puzzle. It doesn't matter who's teaching or putting the puzzle together, actually.
it's a hard one to break down.
Yes, it is.
It's a hard one to explain.
It is.
But ultimately, people can't justify a means to having it in there as an add-on because I never found the connection between a bottle exploding.
No, it was God's love. It just always overflows,
it
and you're just like,
the
what?
science never connected with it
Agreed.
because the science experiments were always on a VBS budget for
Yes.
churches, so it never was lab coats and
Yes.
eye protection. It was never what you normally
Yes.
experienced in
Yes.
school if you took those classes and
Yes.
things. So it always was impressive,
Yes.
like I'm a magic show on,
Yeah. Yeah.
ooh, look what this
Ooh.
did.
Fancy.
But as far as connecting it to God, connecting it to the theme, and there
Uh
were actually VBS kits that focused on the science side
yes.
of things
Yeah, like
where,
labs or whatever. There was a couple of them, yeah, with like
yeah, I
labs,
mean,
imagination lab or
it
whatever, and it was
was,
all science. And
yeah,
we actually veered away from that, unfortunately, because we were like the whole kit scrolling through. We're like, it's just constant experiment, and you need a lot of staff members, extra supplies,
and a lot of lab coats.
and lab coats and goggles. Though that, and you need to know your kids too. I think
Yeah,
that's what helps too. Is we knew our kids, our community, and you literally go from station to station and you just sit and stand.
yeah,
You watch and put some rubber gloves on and either do it. And it would get kind of old after, for at least our group. We were like, no, and maybe that reached you, maybe that touched you. Good for you. I think that's fine. That's what they added it in there because they saw a generation coming up and saying, hey, we can drill the lesson in a little bit more
yeah.
because we cut
It
music
was
time out.
always the experimentation of crafts
Yeah,
with
yeah,
the non take home ability.
yes,
You couldn't take it
yes,
home. You always
absolutely.
did it. It always ended up in a big mess, and the teacher always had to scramble and throw us to the next stage while they rapidly tried to clean all of it up before the next class would come.
It was
So it was
tough.
always a sense of panic when it was like, okay, okay, we've done it. Now move on to snacks or something like that. I got the next group trying to
It
come
was
in.
really, really tough. Like I would say, the first time I felt it was the pirates with the Veggie Tales, and it just didn't work, man. I mean, I
Yeah.
walk up, my dad's running it, the pastor, dressed as a pirate,
Uh-huh.
in a slicky shirt and a pirate hat with a little feather in it, and you know, he's got a whole table set up like a mad scientist,
Yeah.
and he's saying, "All right, folks," with this script off to the side. I'm just like, "What are we doing here, folks?
Yeah.
What has the world come to? Why is pirates doing science? That is the
Yeah.
last thing they would have done and
Yeah.
cared about."
Yep.
And we're sitting here, and I'm with the little guys trying to make them listen and focus, and I'm watching it like the ship is sinking.
Yeah.
If this is
We're
what
off
we're gonna do,
course.
we're completely off course. I don't know who thought it. Find something else to do.
Yeah.
Find something. Look at your kit. I'm sorry, people. Get creative. Look at your kit and say, I'm sorry, folks. Science experiments doesn't work for pirates. Won't work for medieval.
Yeah.
Won't work for, I mean, let's face it, a science you can then adapt science, like if you do Egyptian or things like that, you can turn it more into archaeology. And
Yeah.
every night the kid comes and learns maybe about archaeology and discovering and how you preserve stone and things like that. Turn it like in that kind of science slash history. But you got to look at your theme and know if we're going underwater, maybe you can bring in the whole oceanographer side of things and maybe show them how you preserve water, or
Yeah.
how you filter salt water, whatever. I don't know, but
Yeah, it
that's
should
that's where
have.
unfortunately science didn't work. 'Cause I think
Yeah,
games are games. Games will be fun.
yeah,
You know,
I think it
whatever.
definitely peaked when you just committed a whole kit towards it. I think if you
Yeah,
created the
yeah,
stage, if you all wore lab coats, if you made the food fun, the
yeah,
games fun,
yeah,
and you just included science is cool. It's really
yeah.
neat if done right.
If done right,
And I
yeah.
think that
It's more work though.
it,
It
it,
is
it
a lot more work.
yeah, it deserved to be just in its own kit, doing its own thing,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
done Right. Not thrown
Absolutely.
into something, because depending on your church, depending
Yes.
on how savvy they are, if they have a science degree, is
Or a
how
love for it, yeah.
is how cool it's going to be.
Yes.
So,
Yes. Agreed. Agreed.
but like that's the harder side of
That is the
things.
rough side, yeah.
On the other side, you got games, which were pretty goofy on their own. Once again, I've referred to this before as more of a the type of things you do at an Easter egg hunt.
They
And
were.
invented or wrote these games
Yes.
because they were always so themed, like carrying the egg on the spoon.
Yes.
It was so on the nose
Yes.
that it was like, wow. They got the theme. Is
They
it that
did.
fun?
They did.
No. But is it is it good 2 or 3 times down? Yeah, that's cool,
Yeah.
neat,
Yeah.
in a construction theme, we're gonna carry a wheelbarrow down and back, and then it's like this isn't a sign of things to come for the future for half of you kids,
I forgot about
but
that, yeah.
the time where the theme was so old where you almost missed not having today's tech and recording some of this stuff, it would get like 1 million views on
It
seeing
would.
the transition
It
between
would.
the guy trying to get out of the wheelbarrow, and yet you had to switch the person trying to drive the wheelbarrow, so it just was this chaotic mess.
Oh my
But
goodness. We had some there was some good ones. There was
yes,
some absolutely great ones where you actually, and it would be one and done. You'd
yeah,
come that night, whatever the theme of that night was, and you actually felt bad because you knew if I came back tomorrow, I could beat everybody.
yeah,
I need to hone in these skills because some of them were very creative where you had to really hone in your skills on a few of them physically. And then some you're just like, whew, glad that one's over.
yeah, yeah. So
Nope, I stunk at that one. That was, I don't have the hand and eye coordination for that one or
yeah,
whatever. Because it was either you were throwing something into something, you were they were really more relays. They
uh-huh,
were called games, but they were really relays. They were pass this to someone else or run down the field and grab something and come back else or scavenger hunt kind of this or throw this and
yeah.
it got
It was
better over the years because once again our church adapted, so we'd look at the game and go, that's goofy, we're going to do something else. And we were very fortunate that our family and then the staff of the church went, amen. Let's not do that.
Well, after 6 years or so of doing it the way they wanted us to, our church had the amazing idea to create an obstacle course
Yes,
themed.
themed.
So
Woo.
we, by that time it was like the Wipeout was big with American Ninja Warrior. We put both of those like combined on the sense of we had things you had to swing over. We had
Yes.
a bouncing board you had to climb over. It was
It was
really
good. Do you remember
we
the
would
spy one where we had to crawl through this enclosed box? We had to climb up and go in it like we had to dodge the laser security
yeah,
system.
yeah,
That was
so
really cool. And they were timing us. We had to
yeah,
you were being timed, and if you got the fastest time, you got a reward. It was fun. Yeah, we had
yeah.
some fun themed
So
ones.
so that's kind of the time frame when we went away from the relays just down and back style completely.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
you would
we
have
yeah.
we would have like 6 stations that you had to run through,
Yeah.
and I'll tell you what, if we could have written a kit with relays, like I knew kids that would run the course before the the night would even start. Like they'd
Yeah.
hop right out of the door and be like, "Could you time me on this?" Like it was a hit. But tradition always held to this day is a kickball game.
Yes.
We always split the teams up
Woo.
equally or not, and we would just just go at it. And the teachers would play outfield
Yep,
or the
yep,
bases and
yep.
let us just hit and run.
That was a highlight for sure.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
and it was a tradition no matter if you had underwater, if you had western, whatever, it was always the most unthematic thing out of the whole week.
How to end was the kickball
But
game.
it was the
Yeah, I
kickball game,
agree.
and
I
we never
agree.
really kept overall scores of the week. We just see who won that night, and we just
Yeah.
called it a night with snack, and we were done.
Yeah.
So our
Yeah.
church always had that tradition.
Pulled out that
So,
cooler with the ice pops in it, folks.
yep, I agree. So,
Yeah, that was yeah, games is I think tradition. I think any kid, no matter what generation you're in, you need that physical activity, a physical outlet of some kind.
yeah,
And nothing felt better than after, like you said, we sat in a lesson, you'd sit to do a craft. And so those two physical moments was either in music where you learned hand motions and got a chance to run around, and we'd hit the one year we did beach balls and balloons in the sanctuary, and popping bubbles and things like that. Mom always made sure we had an activity while we did music,
yeah.
because if you weren't super interested in singing, what do you do? We'd had hula hoops and jump ropes and things in there you could run around and play while the music played, and then you'd go do a game.
It was great.
And it was a
Yeah,
good two kind of a way to get a little energy out before the night was up. And then when that got cut, I felt it did weaken the kid a little bit because a lot had to ride on the sport because it was no physical activity. Because, I mean, praise and worship, you can't get but so. I am very more traditional when it comes to worship, and you don't want a lot of jumping and dancing and yelling in the sanctuary for a younger generation of kids, because it gets them sort of this sort of warped sense that, oh, well, worship's like a party. Let's just play a DJ while we're at it. No, you kind of want to pick a good fun praise song for the kids and do hand motion and teach them to clap and praise the Lord, but you're not able to get that physical
but
out.
but have you
So
seen some of these mega churches these days?
it's gotten
Over
crazy.
15 minutes of songs of praising with these bands, you would wear out any child. I'm
Oh,
telling you what,
yeah.
I would not be in the mood for any sports after the air that I would have to give out in order to sing these songs.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's the way we're trained
It's
in
the way we're
today's
trained. It is,
themed,
but our
but
church literally we added the kickball, we added the relay to the game time because we knew our kids were just more antsy and active. So it worked. The science experiments unfortunately didn't go over well in our community, and seeing it brought in from my generation, seeing it come in, I think it has its place for the right congregation, for the right group of kids,
yeah.
but I don't think it was a good ad.
We've always adapted something, and sports have never changed. So, with science, it was a new thing out after like 6 years of nothing new in the VBS world.
Yep, yep.
So, we gave it a shot. We tried it for about 3 years and it didn't work. The attention span of kids haven't changed. You don't get them for that long. So we eventually adapted. So I always felt our church in particular um, played the script the least. We leaned
Yes.
on the script the least because we were blessed with about six or seven good core teachers and leaders in the church that
Yes.
had probably over a decade or so worth of experience in a
Yes.
VBS kit.
Yes.
So when we would have a meeting over what to do and how to schedule this,
Yeah.
we already had enough sense on where to take kids, what they would like, what they would
Yes.
not like,
Yes.
and like I mean, we knew we were in such a small community. We knew when you were born all the way up to this point. So we knew these kids on a
Yes.
personal
We
level
did, yeah.
where we could adapt the themes to fit our current generation compared to a mega church or a big church where you have to go very generic and you have to play by the book because
Yeah, stick to the program.
you're going to either
Yeah.
reach certain kids or you're not. So you
And
have to stick with that.
and absolutely. And once again, I go back to they removed music time as a station. So
Uh-huh.
you had to add something where the kid's going to go because all you have now is just game, snack, and craft.
Yeah.
And you got to keep these kids for a couple of hours. So either you extend the entertainment and make these big elaborate shows and have them sit,
Which they did.
which they tried to do to once again equal because you worship while you're there as well.
Yeah, it was like a half hour to 45 minutes or so.
So they had to add something. So
Mhm.
they thought, well, why not add experiments? Why not add a hands-on, and like you said, like crafts? But a lot of these kits now, where the kids mix stuff themselves, and these more sketch/experiments that are done very, more on a performing kind of level, and because they had to,
Yeah.
because music and entertainment became one
Mhm.
hub, one gathering. So our church, like you said, had to read the room and go, well, if we just lost, music station, what are we going to do with the kids? We either going to probably extend out games. Like you said, we tried 3 years with the science experiment. I was once a volunteer with children, watched it go down and go, and then I was crafts after that for most of the time, and seeing the reaction here and how'd science go, because you'd always ask the kids, so where'd you come from, to play the game. We came from science. Oh, how did that go? What'd you do? One kid said, oh, something blew up. I was like,
Yeah.
what blew up? I mean, I love the reaction of the kids telling me where,
That's true.
coming from the science station. But yeah, once again, we were very fortunate. We kind of just read the room, noticed it wasn't going over with the kids well, and the staff too was just like, who's gonna run it?
Yeah.
Too was like they weren't super confident. And they were reading the book and going, this isn't really speaking to me. I'll just tell the kids how much God loves them personally.
Yeah.
I don't need to blow something up or light something on fire to to show that. My actions will speak for it.
Yeah,
'Cause, I
it
mean,
was the one to cut.
yeah, I mean, it was the one to cut. And like you said, it was so much work.
Yeah.
Because the person had to gather extra supplies to then put off these experiments, then clean up the experiment for the next stage of group of kids to come.
Yep.
Normally it was like dead on. I mean,
Yeah.
I literally would send the last little girl that was at the table at the craft station. Literally, she was leaving the room, and the wave of the next group of kids came in.
Yeah.
It was just right. So, science experiences were tough
Yeah.
because you literally had to make sure the table was clear to redo the experiment. Any mess, anything like that, you just had to roll with it.
Yeah.
Because if they came from snacks and they were a little quicker, they were
Yeah.
right behind the last group, that made it a little hard too for the person putting off the science experiment. But
They
hey,
they always did a good job though at incorporating the theme across the science and the games.
I agree.
It was like the food.
Yes.
It was always this out of the box thinking of, if it's this, we'll do this themed with it.
Yes.
And it was always well thought out. Um, did it always work for every church? No. So it depends on your church. And I think that the games and science, I personally, the music time was just a time to run around with the music playing.
Yeah.
So the science to me was a great um add to that, to where it was like, if done right. This isn't a hand someone a book and say good luck.
Which
Like,
unfortunately, that's
you
most
have
of the
to
time. That's what it is.
yeah, you have to have someone that's passionate,
Yeah.
that enjoys it, to put some effort into it.
Yes.
And my church never put an enormous effort into it because we
Yeah.
had to set up so many other things or themes.
I agree.
So,
I agree. That's probably the best way to say. If you, what you probably are out there, you've probably been a part of VBSs with the science, and let us know how you feel. Did you think it was a good ad? Did you think that it maybe just didn't work. Like I said, it didn't work in the Pirates. It depends on the theme.
Yep.
I think it really depends on the theme, where you're going, what the church decorated at, and then when you head to the science station, like the spy one worked really well because you
Yep.
could talk spy world and stuff, the invisible ink thing. How did that work? That was fun.
Yeah.
That can work. But when you go medieval, when you go pirates,
Yep.
when you go, specific themes, I think is going to affect,
I think so.
I think will affect the science station because there's only so much you can do thematic wise for places like that. But yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Games are always fun. They were silly, wacky little moments in time where you don't remember much of them.
Yep.
But they were fun. They
Yep.
were always themed. I couldn't agree with you more. They're always themed somehow.
I agree.
Some way, wherever we were, wherever we went,
Yep.
we did something thematically, a little relay or scrambled around with something, and it was fun.
Yeah.
They were fun.
And speaking of themes, so coming up to wrap up our week 4 is our top 5 best VBSs in history.
Our personal history.
Our personal history.
Yes, just to get that out there, because we're going to be this is going to be from the heart.
Yep.
And the
from
nostalgia of from you and me, with love to all of you. So let's
Here
have
we go.
some fun.
We hope you agree with us. So let's get into it. Okay, and starting out with our top 5 best VBS themes, we start out with number 5.
And that's me.
That's you.
I kick us off with the best VBS in my personal history, being a part of the staff and getting the book and seeing the commercial for it was epic.
Yep.
And this was Kingdom Chronicles by Answers in Genesis. This was a great VBS kit. It just had a wonderful vibe through the whole thing. And I understand this is the one where we got it, and unfortunately the CD was no good.
Means how good the theme was.
Yes.
Even without
the bones,
the music.
The bones and the body of it was so good.
Yeah.
That we just took the CD, kept it in the bag it came in, and we ordered a group that year, did the Kingdom Rock. And the reason we didn't pick group was only just because the Answers in Genesis was the new kid on the block.
Yes.
And with it, they came with such great, we really were impressed by their lessons through their biblical narrative and teachings. We really loved how they kind of changed things up a little bit.
Yeah.
All of you guys that went to Bible school knew the rough layout of the whole week. That you knew somewhere midweek, you were going to get the Christmas lesson of Jesus coming and being born on this earth, a lesson of his ministry and walk, and then the lesson of his crucifixion and resurrection.
Yep.
And that was the whole point, at the end of the week. So we really loved Answers coming in and teaching these biblical lessons and narratives and saying, okay, like for Kingdom Chronicles, it was the armor of God. So all week long, it was every night we learned about a new armor piece, and we got to, if you did the paperwork, I looked with the teachers, you got to decorate an armor piece, you got to talk about it, how you could use it, how to get it. What a great idea.
It
that
was.
all week you did that, and that's just the lessons, folks. The theme, and I'm sorry, I'm a sucker for the fantasy fairy tale realm, and that medieval world was just so much fun to decorate the church, and each rooms just had this sort of fairy tale like vibe throughout every room and every station, from the basement to upstairs. It was just fun. Mine was the craft courtyard, and I just decorated my whole craft station with like these garden kind of stuff, and it was just fun.
It was our first attempt on a medieval theme. So we went with a lot of cool backdrops. We went with the scene setters. They were called.
Those were great.
You can look them up on Oriental Trader, or where we got most of our supplies every year for crafting and whatnot. So we ended up going with a medieval theme all the way, and it worked out really well, I think.
It was fun.
A lot of a lot of the answers theme leans towards more older kids,
They do.
whereas group had, chowder, and they had younger kids, like they'd have
Yes.
the Kingdom Rock had like a falcon,
A
had like a lion. They
lion.
love
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
animated
Yeah, yeah,
mascots for
per
each
night.
day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
They do, but they're not like at the forefront. Because you
yes,
look in the book and go, oh, there's animals.
it's
Oh,
iconic.
well.
Yeah,
You don't have to use
yeah,
them.
it's a backdrop
Yeah, yeah,
character.
definitely Group Lifeway, they really want to get those logo mascot characters for each night. I agree with you. Answers was definitely, I love their teaching. I love their the paperwork for the teachers. I heard great things. The teachers loved the paperwork. The teachers loved the lessons. And to me that's also good. Years later, when you have the staff going, it was a really good solid format.
Yeah,
All the kids, even maybe if you weren't super into the whole medieval thing, you could still get behind that fantasy world.
yeah,
You could still get behind, especially our adult, The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, that kind, that kind of vibe. You could sit back and go, yeah, I can get behind this,
yeah.
and we did. It was a lot of fun. You fought we had first time we used the technology and sang in the group opener was
It,
under
it
Kingdom
was very
Chronicles.
good. Yeah,
So yeah, you came in and we did a little sketch of you finding a armor piece every night as you were a knight, right? You had
I
like this,
was. Yeah.
yeah.
And I think this was the first one where my cousin came in,
Yes, our
and
younger cousin.
he was actually part of the younger group that
Yep,
was being led around.
yep.
But I mean, he still talks about that theme. He still whistles the theme. I mean,
He's an adult now, and he
it
still goes Kingdom Chronicles. You
I
know, I
mean, it
mean,
just
it's still
resonated
it worked.
with him so
Yeah,
many years,
yeah. And
afterwards.
it was a fun kit.
It was
It
worth
was
it.
a fun
Yeah.
kit. I really loved it. Was the I mean, they may have done a medieval one years ago, maybe when I was really, really little, but it wasn't like as memorable
Yeah.
as this Kingdom Chronicles fantasy. It broke the norm because
Yeah.
we did camping, we did, Old West several times, camping several times, and that was a fun, out of the blue,
Yeah.
medieval one.
It was great.
It was fun. Kingdom Chronicles deserved to make the list. For nothing else, the whole week was just from the lessons to the crafts to the thematic setting.
Yep.
It was fun. It was fun.
Yep.
So, you're number 4,
Yep, that is correct.
and I'm interested in this one.
So we are going with a great idea that came out of one year was Mega Sports Camp
Woo,
Beyond the Gold
woo.
was the birth of like what I would call upward
Yes,
put into a VBS theme.
yes.
And if you're not familiar with Upward, it was a Christian themed sports.
Yeah,
It was
almost like
like
a
a
little mini
league.
league. Yeah.
But with Beyond the Gold, it still had your crafts, it still had the theming, it still had I mean, sports are so easy to theme with.
Yeah.
So you just have everything that comes with a VBS, but you had no games, no themed games because why? You had sports.
You had sports. That
It
made it so
was
easy.
it was the name of the game,
Yes.
and it was a brilliant idea,
Yes.
and it's changed its face over the last few years.
Yeah.
It's rechanged up its logo, trying to
It
stay up with
has.
the
It
times.
has. But that was a fun. That's a fun. As a staff member, that was fun. It was one of the first crafts was fun because we themed it around the year we went to the Olympics, London Summer Olympics.
Yes.
And that was a lot of fun because the staff you could pull from Great Britain, for
Uh-huh.
food and snack, and then with the sports,
Yes.
you could stick to things like Gatorade and granola bars and really fun things that we got to think out of the box from
Yeah.
what the normal snack and rotation was.
Yeah, in our community there wasn't a lot of sports. And
No, no, our community's, yeah, definitely a little more small, a little more rural,
yeah,
and
and
so
our age
yeah,
group were leaning more towards the youth side of things. They were
it
right on the
was.
cusp of aging out.
Yes.
So we were like, they just wouldn't get an undersea theme. They just wouldn't come
Yeah,
back to something like that. And we ended up doing this theme multiple years in a row
we did.
until
Yeah.
our demographic of kids aged back down to the younger
we made
kids.
full circle, ladies and
Yeah,
gentlemen. We've
so
looped all the way back around. But
but
yeah,
yeah,
we did mega sports camp
yeah,
multiple times.
and I mean, once again, we still theme our rooms all the way. Of course,
Yes.
by this time, there were no classrooms. There
Yes.
were huddle times
Huddle times was
where
nice.
you took a halfway point and sat down and talked about the lesson, the scripture, all of that, like Upward
Yes.
did.
Because the staff, as years go on and the staff gets a little older,
Yeah,
huddle time was great because they didn't have to theme the rooms. You could just have huddle stations.
yeah,
So we would have huddle stations in places, even out in the yard. You could lay a blanket. If it was a pretty night, the teachers say, let's just go outside and have huddle time. Because
yeah,
it was just the teacher being in charge of sharing because we would have an opener worship. We'd have a sketch,
yeah,
a little something to you were the mega athlete and you would show off the sport of the night.
yeah,
So we would tell the kids because it was a surprise. We kept it a surprise. So you would show the sport of the night, dress up as that athlete, and then we would give a group lesson. The
yeah,
little guys would leave, and then we'd have a testimonial group lesson. And sometimes it was fun too. We found athletes' testimonies and
yes,
played them through the internet. We played their video through the church and let the kids see
yeah,
a Christian athlete and hear their testimony and how they follow Jesus. And that was
yeah.
nice too. It was
The
so easy too, because you would just say, here he is, here
yeah,
she is, she believes
and
in Jesus. It's cool to be a Christian.
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And once again, the best year always will be your first year. You do it, it'll resonate
Yeah.
with you the most with any of these themes. And for me, it was me and a friend became a mascot. We
That's
we
right.
wore masks. We were hidden, and we wore long sleeve T-shirts and jerseys and all that. And we'd come out with a really cool song and ramp up everyone.
You did, yeah, and threw like things out in the
Yep,
audience
it
and
was
got them
fun. It
everybody
was fun.
excited. Yeah.
But the last night, our treasurer,
Yes.
Miss Mary, came up to us and said, "Do you guys mind if I go out with you?" And we were like, we looked at each other and looked back, and she was like in her
She was,
early
yeah.
80s, and and we gave her a hat, we gave her a necklace, and said, "Go for it." And she came out first. I wish I had a camera to record everyone's.
We were shocked. I was shocked.
And then we came out after her with the fog machine and stuff, and it was the best memory I'll ever have in my life,
It
because
was.
it was
It
just
was
such,
great.
you couldn't have paid for a shocker more than that.
It was great. And she came out clapping
Yep,
and smiling and waving like, let's go. I mean, she did a good job.
she
She
did great.
waved and smiled
So,
like they're coming. But I just wanted to come out and, that's what she told everybody. She said, I wanted to participate.
yep,
Mary, I didn't
yep,
know. I didn't know you had that in you.
yep. All of these themes are top tier, but the
Yes.
memories
That's
are what
it.
is going to is what's going to pull you in
Yeah.
the most. So we want
Yeah.
to hear down below, before we finish up our top 5, what's your favorite moment
Yes.
and theme that went along with the moment,
Absolutely.
because if it
Absolutely.
was a snack, if it was a game, or something fun you did with your friends, or something
Absolutely.
like that, or someone else did, we just need to hear it.
Those moments are great. I
But
couldn't
yeah,
agree with you more.
moving on to your number 3, what do you have for us?
These are the top threes. These are the ones. And now I have to go back to we've left the staff volunteer stage of my life, and I have to go back to a time when I was a kid and just walking in and being surprised, just like every other little soul that walked in that church.
Yep.
And for me as a child, what stuck out, we already discussed how great the music of this VBS is. And it is Lava Lava by Group. And it was just an awesome week
Yeah.
full of tropical island fun,
Yeah.
of just whimsy, just fun.
Yeah.
The everything like doesn't stick out completely because I was young when I went, but I remember it. And what I do
Yeah.
remember it was having a wonderful time with my friends, and from hula lays to full crafts,
Yeah.
Lava Lava, and of course we had music time. I love the music, and it was just fun. The whole sanctuary was decorated like an island, and we had
Yeah.
like mounds of looking like sand and beach balls, and it was just fun.
It was great.
It was
Yeah.
just fun. Tropical birds. When we went down to the basement was our social hall with the kitchen, and mom found these beautiful. Do you remember the beautiful toucan? They were paper mache.
It was good.
She got like
It
secondhand
was
of
very nice.
these toucan birds, and she put them in the ceiling like the enchanted tiki room from Magic Kingdom.
Yep, there you
And
go.
it just flowers were everywhere, and it still sticks out in my mind
Oh yeah.
to this day.
Yeah.
Eating and looking up and seeing the birds and seeing and once again we got lays and hula skirts at music time, and we could run around and learn our hand motion.
And every night
you got
the mascot action figure.
We did get the rubber for each night, a rubber little stretchy character of
Yep.
yes. Yes.
Yeah,
It
so
was
that was
wow.
very cool. The music, of course, was a high note. It made our top 5 of last week.
Yep.
And of course, with the mascot of all VBS lore, Chowder.
That one in particular, Chowder being stuck on an island.
Stuck on an island.
It was definitely a take on the old show Survivor. It was Survivor. They were trapped on this island, and they, the guy was running all these, scenarios, and Chowder had to, solve the problem.
Yeah, with hints of like a Gilligan's Island.
It was.
And also a few other winks to other shows that we had no clue as kids.
No idea. I think even that Tom Hanks movie about him talking to the ball or whatever. The one, remember the female character in there who had this volleyball she
with
painted,
a face on it.
It
was okay.
But the volcano was about to blow. It's called Lava Lava. With the volcano, and that was the goal, was to get off the island before. Oh my goodness, that was a great. Every night I wanted to see the episode, the music, everything, just in my childhood nostalgia. It had to make the top 3.
It had to, yep.
So this one's big. Your number 2.
Yep, and we age back up again, and this was probably one of the most elaborate themes we had ever done, and just all the stars aligned for this one, and this is the Spy Academy with answers in Genesis as well.
Oh my
where
goodness.
we set up tables. It was a year where someone had donated dozens of PC screens.
Yes.
A school was going out, and they just said, just come for free and pick this stuff up.
Oh my goodness.
And once again, we had cardboard standees of people, of detectives and things. And it was the first year that we really incorporated the projector screen and incorporated scenes that were pre-recorded and played.
Oh my goodness,
and
I did a lot of tech work that year.
it was a lot
Whew.
of it was a lot of Mission Impossible.
It was.
Not as much James Bond, but more Mission Impossible is more of
Yeah,
American
yeah.
themed
Had our American
spies.
Spy. Yeah.
So yeah, we did the stage show in our own way. Once again, if you know anything about us, we don't always use the whole. We inspire from the theme books,
Yes.
but we did our own stage play.
Yes.
We wrote our own scripts.
Yes.
And we did our own acting.
Yeah.
And
I think that was the first year I was visible.
yes.
I remember being on the stage, and before I was kind of off to the side, and you kind of gave me a little privacy where I could run the tech maybe further back. But that year in particular, you moved me all the way in front and said, well, it's Spy.
Yeah.
You're going to be you're going to be, it works. We'll move all your tech forward and angle you to where you can be part of the show.
Yeah.
And her being like, oh, okay. And so I joined the cast and sat and ran everything that was going up above on the screen. I was running it, but yet playing the part of get out of there, it's about to blow. We had something was going to, it was.
Spies was such a thing that could have gone really bad or really good.
Yeah.
And this wasn't the first spy one we did. We did a Sun Force Kids Camp back in the day by Gospel Light.
Yeah.
But
that was the one with the games.
Exactly.
Yeah, we went through the laser field and
So we had VBS experience with that, or some of our older staff members did. But this is another one in which I acted 3 on the top 5. I've acted in, and it just was such a better way to go than the scripts that they gave us. Was very, like, I'll say it again, very Bible Man-esque scripts.
They were.
Where you just, you would just say jokes.
Yes.
In between lines, and it was like, wait, what'd he just say? And it was very on the nose, but yeah, we dealt with this professionally. The kids loved it.
You were really cool. You walked in that leather. We got you a nice leather suit. We got you a biker's helmet, and you were this spy that got your mission, put on your helmet, and left the room. And then we did really cool footage of GoPros and things of like you were on the motorcycle, or you jumped out of an airplane and parachuted down somewhere and got the mission complete. It went over so well. The kids cheered when you would walk in. And we got really cool pieces of music. I'd say craft time was really fun as a leader of crafts at that. I was doing the crafts. And we just did some really, really fun things. I put water paint in water guns and had them do water art, and shoot at the paper from a certain distance and make like splash art. A lot of fun, because I thought we just did kind of some fun spy. Like you said, the Spy Academy did a relay.
Yeah.
The relay was set up to do these spy-like things and complete the mission and be timed. And it was a really fun kit.
It was awesome.
It was a fun kit. The lessons were deep.
Just
and,
as a whole, it was
fun.
It was good. So
yeah, that was.
I enjoyed that. So, but nothing can compare to the
number 1 here.
To the number 1.
Yep.
One.
Yep.
I mean, you could get a vibe.
Yep.
Over the last 4 weeks. We can't go an episode without saying its name.
It just can't.
And it is
Scuba.
We
can't. When I was, editing these videos, I'm like, wow, Scuba's loved.
Resignated.
It resonated.
You
memory,
could probably
whatever.
argue. You could probably give 5% of my decision to be a Christian came from this themed VBS. 5%. I'm not saying a lot, but I'm saying it was a part of building my decision up to make that, decision to follow the Lord. And it starts. This is where it starts, folks, is performing a theme that is perfectly executed to a level where you wrote it and you explained it like a rule book.
Yes.
You gave people the tools to succeed,
Yes.
and this was a theme that was so simplistic but
Yes.
well explained enough to where our staff was able to pull it off perfectly.
Everything, to use the word, went swimmingly. Ha ha.
Yes. It made a
It
real
was
splash, if we're going there.
yes, beautiful. I'm gonna dive right into this.
Uh-huh.
Each room was just, it was great.
Yeah.
It was all underwater
It was
theme.
great.
It was all underwater from every classroom, craft, snack. When you went to the basement, everything was just, fish were everywhere.
Yes.
And
Inflatable fish,
sticker fish,
sticker fish,
paper
stuffed
fish.
fish,
Yes, any
stuffed
animal
animals.
fish. They were everywhere. And I'm telling you, folks, someone say, "Oh, that just sounds tacky." It's like, no, I was constantly reminded, I'm underwater.
It was a tacky in a good way.
It was,
Like
yeah,
like
it
if you
was.
ever find pictures of it,
A lot of blue,
yep,
a lot of, I mean, there was some boats and things. They put some things in the ceiling and did, like, it was just, it was so, and I know I use the, magical is a strong word to use, in the Christian umbrella or setting, but for a child.
yeah,
A child used the word magic, it's Santa Claus, it's your birthday, it's that magical
yeah,
thing where you walk in and everything around, from the sights to the smells, music, it was beautiful.
yeah,
And in your mind, you still hear the crackling of the blue tarp
yep.
as you
The
walked.
smell of it.
The smell of it, back in the day, it got removed, but we had an old propane tank out in the yard, and mom and dad and the staff made it into a whale.
Yeah,
Turned it into a giant whale
there
out
you
in the yard. They
go.
decorated around it and made it, when you went out to play, you saw this whale in the
Yep.
yard, and he's smiling with this little painted a face on it that lingered for months, that you could still go out and see his cute little face
Yep.
on the side of that thing. It was
Yep.
just fun. That
Yep.
was a good pick. I couldn't agree with you. We both talked like, what's going to be number one, and you just went scuba, and I went, yeah,
Because
yeah.
because like what embodies vacation? Bible school.
Escapism.
Like
Pure
it like
escapism. Yeah.
and it just incorporated that vacation
It did. It was
style.
pure. Yeah.
It felt like you were stepping into, a party every night,
Constant.
and that was what all of these themes that we have mentioned up to this
Mm-hmm.
point have tried to embrace and
Mm-hmm.
tried to relay
Mm-hmm.
to kids.
Yeah.
And each theme will resonate differently with each child.
Yes.
Each kid will have vacations. They see
Yes.
vacations in different ways.
Yeah. Yeah. And the
Um,
themes of kind of like the roller coaster. You can see certain kits have adapted to that, to
yes,
embrace that. Oh, well, where does a kid go on vacation? They take road trips, or they
exactly.
do roller coasters or theme parks, and that's, whew, we've avoided those because those
Yeah,
are just too
yeah,
complicated. Our ideas just didn't, can't get super creative with those. But I couldn't agree with you more. For a child to get that, and I would say, our family loves the classic Disney and Walt Disney, and we've been able to be blessed to go few times to the Magic Kingdom, and we love that immersion. We
yes,
love the sights and the smells and the touch and the feel, and stepping into, whether Tomorrowland, Frontierland, different times almost, and
yes,
you could get that feel for scuba. You got that feel in Lava Lava. We made
yes,
sure to implement that in Kingdom Chronicles and Spy Academy. Mega Sports Camp's probably the least thematic, but you still could have fun with
yeah,
the sports. But I would say, it's funny, most of our list, thinking in my mind, just listing them back, is we really wanted that immersion
yeah,
and what we could decorate and have fun. That it wasn't just a party, it was a pure immersion of escapism, and your childlike wonder, which God commands in the Bible to be a child, can
yeah,
enter the kingdom, only will enter the kingdom of heaven. Be like one of
yeah,
these. We need to bring that back, folks. We need to bring that innocence, because it is such a precious gift from God to just escape. Turn
yeah,
your brain off to the adult things of the world and the adult problems, and just realize how just beautiful things are in this world, from the ocean
Yeah.
to the tropical islands to even doing fun missions in a spy academy. These are just fun.
And
Bible school is so much fun.
and this is also meant to inspire you as creators of these kits,
Yes.
is it does save souls in the long run. I know at the
Yes.
time it seems like you're just trying to move a lot of kids from one end of the church from the next, and
Yes.
you're just exhausted by the end of the night,
You are.
and you wonder if you're
You are.
doing any good at all.
Yeah, and you've had
And
those moments as staff.
yeah,
I sense your
yeah,
spirits out there. I could have moments where my craft didn't go over well
yeah,
with a couple of kids, and you wear it.
yeah,
You wear and go, oh man, I hope I didn't, I hope their night ends better than,
yeah.
that. But
But majority of
yeah,
our picks are us being involved. Like we were a week to 2 weeks prep for some of
yes.
this stuff, and more than a week to take it down. So
Well, more than a week.
we still found some of our best moments
Yeah,
in the VBS history for us,
yeah,
was not only just participating in it, but just acting in it, and giving out that stuff. It doesn't go to waste, folks. And we are
no,
so thankful that these kits exist, that
yes,
someone made up the idea for it, that
yes,
every year we can go into the summer with this tradition
yes,
of bringing kids into the church and
yes,
bringing their imaginations to life,
yes. We'll
and
fight for that.
and properly executing these themes are
Yes,
big to these kids. They see
absolutely.
the lack of heart or the lack of effort that's put into it. Just take that next step, and it could impact a person's life forever.
And church has a wonderful way of, like, a week-long festival for Christians, a
Yes.
week-long festival for young kid Christians, or trying to become a Christian or see what Christianity's like. And I think you mentioned in one of the videos in the past where you said that it almost was like a formation of what you're going to do in church. You'll
Yeah.
do crafts, you'll play games together, you'll worship together. You'll learn about Jesus in a long, stretched out night. But I did all this stuff at VBS. I was doing every week at church. I was
Yes.
making crafts with my friends during worship service when we went down with the kids after we got our lesson. I was making bracelets and beads and cutting out paper and making cards and doing things with my friends. We played games. We did sports. We'd go outside from flag football to basketball. We played sports together. We worshiped before we went downstairs and praised the Lord. It's literally like a little church service for kids.
Yeah,
Giving them the foundation of being a Christian is cool.
it
Being
is.
being a follower of Jesus is fun. And it's not easy. They'll learn that as they get older. It's
Yeah.
not easy, but it's worth it.
And it's just
It's
as fun
absolutely worth it.
and it's just as fun to participate into it as is
Yes.
to volunteer
Yes.
and help. So if you're
Yep.
hesitant, if you've never done it before, I mean, it's just such a rewarding thing,
Yep.
handing them a snack or stuff like that. There's nothing like it
Mhm.
throughout the whole year, no matter
Yes.
what ministry you do or fundraiser thing. VBS will always be a staple in a church, and it's always the most rewarding thing. Um,
Absolutely. Absolutely. You can't beat it. It's worth being exhausted at the end of the night, and then
it
at the end of the
is.
week. It's worth it because the little souls that are staring up at you and saying, "Is what you're doing real?
Yeah,
Is what you're doing worth it?" And it is a chance for the whole church to rally around the next generation, to sacrifice what you want to do, what your adult world or adult, lifestyle, to just be a child for a week. Lower lower your mind to that child like innocence, and wrap your arm around a child, wrap your time around your church and its ministry, and really see the impact. And I know it's hard. Generation of kids, I've seen a lot.
It
I
has.
have seen a change in our culture, in the kids being a part of the staff, seeing the children change. It's hard a
It
lot of
is.
times to get a lot of these kids to be more creative in crafts because of the
Yeah.
technology has come in and really stifled that. I have
Yep.
seen it. I'm like having to say, you can do it. You can be creative. Don't just scribble.
Yeah.
Actually think it through. And
And
it has changed, but it we need a little old fashioned. And
yep.
I think VBS is special, and it needs to um, not adapt too much, but help the kids and the church adapt
Yeah.
around VBS to say it's worth it.
It is.
It's worth it.
And once again, we hope you enjoyed this with us. We hope you'll go back and watch the previous 3 weeks.
Yes.
And yeah, we hope that you'll just watch all of these back to back to back to back. And
How can we let the summer go by and not get nostalgic over
oh
Vacation
yeah,
Bible School? Man, I mean,
yep,
I talk
it's
about a little bit.
yep. So yeah, so we hope you agree with our top five.
Yeah.
Let us know which ones you agree with down below and which ones you would put higher on the list if you participated in that. And if you did a theme not on this list, write it down below. And yeah, we thank you guys for joining us. We hope you have a blessed, wonderful week. And as always, stay nostalgic, Christians.
Hey everyone, we hope you liked today's episode.
Please like and subscribe. Oh, and don't forget to comment down below because we'd love to hear from you.
Thanks so much for watching us.
Yeah, and so until next time,
Bye.